What seemed like a simple traffic violation in a one-way street was an encounter that would be critical in securing the convictions of men whose desperation meant they were capable of anything.
As I was driving up the road in pursuit after this blue Ford Laser, I came to an intersection. The blue Ford Laser slowed up dramatically to about 10 to 20 kilometres an hour. I thought this was strange in the middle of a pursuit, and it was at that point that I noticed a passenger lean out of the window with a sawn-off rifle. I then accelerated as harsh as I could to get behind the offending vehicle out of the line of sight.
It's a blue Laser, a sedan with 2 males on board.
The fact that they've shot towards us and aimed directly at police, their intent wasn't just to scare us, their intent was to hit us, kill us, or to stop us by any means. Fortunately, it was a quiet Easter Monday morning where there was very few vehicles and pedestrians on the road at the time. We've continued pursuing after him through a number of local roads. Again, the passengers leant out the window and taken a shot at us.
Yeah, the vehicle's fired another shot at us. Shot, copy that.
This has angered me personally, threatening my life, so we've continued the pursuit, and it's that point in time where we were terminated by the Duty Operations Inspector at Police Radio.
Terminate, 223 from the door, terminate. 23, copy that. 223.
Eventually I found the car, dumped in a side street, and looked to me when I pulled up, nobody was in the car.
Cover that 534, just for information, just to appropriate caution, these people are armed and have already fired shots at police.
So just opened the driver's door, let the dog have a bit of a sniff in the car, had a look inside just in case they were still in there. Fortunately, there was nobody in there. Then I've gone around to the footpath. When people run along the ground, they leave scent on the ground. Our police dogs are trained to find that and locate it. Good boy, mate. Good boy! The track's gone along the footpath, down through some villas along the driveway. Atta boy. Good dog, mate. Good boy. I was thinking, if they're going to shoot at the cops, what are they going to do to members of the public, So I really wanted to catch them. Atta boy. I get to a fence and the dog indicates and locates a sloppy Joe and some gloves. Jump over the fence, the track continues through people's yards, over more fences with the sirens and the helicopter. A lot of people came out into the street and we ended up losing the track.
I first noticed the car while I was standing at the front of the shop, and I'd seen 2 guys in there. They just drove past, thought nothing of it. Half a minute later, one of the offenders stormed into the shop, fired a shot without even saying a word, which is a big shock. Yeah, then started demanding money. First couple of seconds, you don't know what to do, but then all those things come back to you, like how to act and make sure you listen to him, all the sensible things to do, and to come out of it alive, yeah. I opened up the till, grabbed the notes out, he asked for the coins, yeah, the fucking coins as well, and just don't do anything drastic, like fucking give me the money. That's all it was all about. Just very aggressive. And then he asked for the safe keys, just had the gun pointed at me at all times, so I couldn't get away with nothing. Passed him the bag, said, all right, get down on your knees, make sure you don't follow me. If you do, I'll fucking kill you. And then when I heard the door sliding open, ran down to the front, pressed the alarm bell. Before you know it, cops were actually there in like 2 minutes.
Getting these guys off the streets was a matter of urgency, as the likelihood of more robberies occurring was high. Then, only 2 days later, another news agency was hit.
I was working out in the back room, and when the door closes, it makes this noise, and I thought, why is the door closing? And I looked out and I could see the masked man and the rifle, and I thought to myself, we're in a bit of trouble here. My sister was working at the front counter, so I was coming out to protect her as well. And I just kept talking to him, and in the end, he got frustrated with me and then just threw a plastic bag at us and said, just give me the money out of the till. He wanted out, so that was a good sign to me. And then I was just watching him as Kerry was filling the bag up, and there just seemed to be a window of opportunity to stop him. I just went for the gun. It did go off, but I thought, oh, it's a toy gun. There's just going to be paper everywhere. When I say paper, it's very fine, like a little snow thing. And I really thought this is a chance to hit him over the head with his own toy gun. But because we were reaching across a counter, he was able to pull away from me, but just before he went, another shot went off. And then when I came back in, my sister was on the ground and she'd been shot. One of the bullets had struck her in the side. She was taken to Westmead Hospital and underwent surgery.
The shell casings and a projectile that were recovered from the scene, along with the description of the robber, were all consistent with the Chipping Norton hold-up. Another similarity was bringing a plastic bag for the takings, which had been left behind in the struggle. And within a week, the pattern continued.
We had a call that there was a robbery at the Fairfield West Cellars. A robber had come in armed with a sawn-off firearm and he'd gone past the mill room where they were having lunch.
It's a fucking robbery! Give me all your...
One of the victims thought it was a joke.
It's not a fucking joke, dickhead!
The fact that someone gone in and shot straight away made us think that it was the same person involved with the Sefton robbery and the Chipping Norton robbery.
Police were no closer to finding the offenders who had been terrorising Western Sydney. And it appeared they were becoming more desperate as the frequency of the robberies increased.
Both her and Hooper had a heavy drug habit that was up to $1,000 a day. Hooper would go out and get some money. He would then return and they would go and buy drugs. And this was a daily occurrence.
The task force investigating a string of serial robberies was ready to interview their prime suspect, Stephen Hooper. The only problem was they no longer knew where to find him.
He was at Kirkconnell prison camp, low security. He and another prisoner pushed a couple of prison guards over and ran away from the camp.
Fortunately, Hooper was quickly recaptured, and it was time to face the music. As the DNA results on the clothes didn't directly link Hooper to the blue laser, a further test was conducted for the presence of gunshot residue.
When a firearm is discharged, the gunshot residue is airborne and it can land on anything in the near vicinity. So we use a small swab, which is a contact adhesive, and any particles of gunshot residue would be picked up by the adhesive tape.
Gunshot residue was in fact found on one of the gloves and on the Sloppy Joe, and the type of GSR or gunshot residue could be identified as being consistent with those in the casings found at the crime scenes.
Although the passenger was the shooter, the gunshot residue from the firearm has drifted through the vehicle and settled on the clothing of the driver.
He decided to enter a plea of guilty to a number of the robberies in lieu of going to trial on all of the robberies, and that plea was accepted by the Crown, and also the victims of the other robberies were quite happy with that as well.